I'm saying here?
Well, that's correct. Eudahia is the Roman district of Judea, which wasn't even really a district, a geographic entity until the time of the Maccabees, when they went out in about 135 BC and began to conquer the cities surrounding Jerusalem.
Right. So, but the definition of Judean, which is what the actual translation of the word Judaism should be.
Absolutely. Eudahia, everywhere there is Jew written in the New Testament should be either Eudahia, Judea, Eudahius, Judean, or something similar.
Right. And so the Jews have performed the same trick here in the New Testament that they performed in the Old Testament by substituting the word Jew for Judean. Okay? And once you understand that there are two primary different types of Judeans living during the time of Christ in New Testament times, what you have is the original Judeans who were who? The Judahites. Okay? And then you have the interlopers, the false Judahites, who claim to be Judah but are not and do lie, Revelation 2:9 and 3:9. Those interlopers, those deceivers, have been pretending to be Judah ever since. And so since they identify themselves as Jews, they have been trying to rewrite history by pretending to be the Judahites of the Old Testament and the Judeans of the New Testament. Okay, so but the fact is that the Jews, the people we know today as Jews, are not descended from the house of Judah at all. They are descended from the interlopers who John Hyrcanus, on threat of pain of death, forcibly made them citizens of Judah, of the land of Judah, and now it's properly called Judea, which is a country having more than one ethnicity residing in it. Okay, so the Jews are that ethnicity which was incorporated by John Hyrcanus. They are not Judah by any means. They are in fact outsiders. They're strangers, aliens, who have assumed the citizenship of Judea, which does not make them the Judah of the Old Testament. Wouldn't that be a correct way of differentiating between the Jews and the Judahites of the New Testament?
Absolutely. They were forcibly converted, and many of them, by the description in Josephus, were very happy to be converted.
Yes.
Because they had been left outside for so many centuries. They were forcibly converted to Judaism.
Right.
The perverted form of Mosaism that they were practicing at the time.
Yeah, and isn't it true? So because we've been addressing the racial question, is Jesus a Jew by race or ethnicity? And the answer to that is no. He's a Judahite, but he's not a Jew because the Jews incorporate all races and ethnicities on the planet today. And a Jew can be a Chinaman, a black, who have the so-called black Hebrews, can be a Sephardic Jew, an Ashkenazi Jew, and virtually none of these people have any heritage relating back to the old tribe of Judah. Even though the Jews who have invaded Palestine base the invasion on having Shemitic descent, returning quote unquote to their old homeland. Okay, but it's not their old homeland. The first time the Jews came into the nation of Judea was by usurpation, by pretending to be Judahites when they're not, and they're making the same pretense today that their ancient homeland. It's actually our homeland. Those of us in true Israel who have Judahite ancestors, and so it's actually our people who have a right to go back to Palestine and claim it. The Jews have no right whatsoever, and this lack of right is compounded by the fact that the vast majority of the Jewish people today are in fact Khazars, Ashkenazi Khazars, none of whose ancestors ever set foot in Palestine. Okay. And so only 5% of modern Jews are actually descendants of the Sephardim, who did actually spend some time in Palestine, but not as Judahites, but as Edomites who had become citizens under John Hyrcanus, okay? And so wouldn't that be the correct analysis of what the modern Jews today are?
Absolutely. And you know, it's a marvel of the wonders and the power of the Jewish propaganda machine that the average person in the street generally considers the Jew to be the purest of all races. Absolutely incredible.
And this is the main reason for why they have all these genetic diseases, and why they have, physical deformities to a greater extent than other people do. I don't want to use the word race because they're not a race; they're a breed. Jesus refers to them as a brood, a brood of vipers who can do no good. And so what we're talking about is a group of people who are engaged in a charade, a gigantic charade, pretending to be somebody they're not. And once we understand that this charade is going on, this great impersonation of Judah and Israel by an alien people, then you begin to understand the difference why Jesus hated those scribes and Pharisees so much, okay? And, so let's talk a little bit about the Jewish religion compared to the religion of Moses. There's actually no similarities between the two religions at all. So the second question was Jesus a Jew by religion? Let's turn to Matthew chapter 15, verse 1. Then came to Jesus scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem. Okay, now this is about another confrontation between Jesus and the scribes and Pharisees, saying, "Why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders?" Okay, they're asking Jesus, why are the apostles and the people following Jesus around, why aren't they following the traditions of the elders? They're not asking, why aren't they following the law of Moses? They're asking, why do they transgress the traditions of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. But he answered and said unto them, Why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition? Okay, so he's directly contradicting what they have to say. He says, he's telling them that they're transgressing the commandments of God by their tradition. Verse 4, For God commanded, saying, Honor thy father and mother, and he that curseth father and mother, let him die the death. Now, it's interesting that since the Jewish people can be of any race whatsoever, it doesn't matter who the father is, okay? So they don't have to honor their father, and even their honoring of their mother is simply tokenism, because the mother can be any race as well. Verse 5, But ye say, Whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, It is a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me. And of course, we Israelites are told to hearken back to our father and mother, Abraham and Sarah. And of course, the Jews never talk about Abraham and Sarah. They will claim Abraham as their father, but only because Abraham was also the grandfather of Esau, who was the original race trader. Okay, verse 6. And honor not his father or his mother when he shall be free. Thus have ye made a commandment of God, the commandment of God, by none effect, by your tradition. So what he's telling these scribes and Pharisees is that they have made the law of God of none effect because they have substituted their own traditions in place of the law of Moses, okay? And so the common understanding that Judaism is based on the law of Moses is directly contradicted here by Jesus Christ himself. So we have two possibilities that Jesus was a Jew, number one by race and number two by religion, and we can prove conclusively that Jesus is not a Jew in either sense.